What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. It's match day, and it's a must-win against Lazio. And new face to some, familiar to others. We got Cliff coming back, and at least coming back with a banger of a kit, the 2014 home edition. Man, it has been some time. How the hell are you doing?
Thanks, Al, for that great intro. I'm doing well. And you have a great eye for kits. This is that exact kit. It has Pirlo, Il Maestro on the back. And I'm ready to go, man.
Nice.
I'm excited. I'm happy to be back in the game. Hopefully people remember me. It's been a couple years, but I'm happy to be getting into it with you.
Yeah, and we've got, hey, same as always. Always a ton around Juventus to cover, and today's no different going into this match. Tudor, all sorts of questions around this guy. Kenan Yildiz in the news for, reason we'd like to not get into, but it's a knee issue. You've got Chico Conceição in a new role today. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to have fun covering it. And of course, today there will be a live watch along as well that I'll run for this matchup. And then tomorrow we're going to hit the post-match podcast, all right? But reminder, everybody, get those likes up because I didn't want to do it last time, but we bailed out on a kit giveaway the last time, the new Juventus third kit. So get those likes up. We might give it away today. And the legends, our legends members of the AJC, you can all join in levels of memberships, but the third top tier, we got a giveaway for them that's being run tomorrow for their kit. All right.
Let's
And
see
that's
this.
this bad boy's going out tomorrow. All
Ooh,
right.
that's a beauty.
So, yes, guys, hey, pays to subscribe, pays to be a member, all right? So that one's going out tomorrow on the post-match pod, but we might add a third kit for one of you lucky members and audience. Sashko, Gio Conidi, Vincenzo, Suarez, Alex Juve, Tuna, Alex P. And Alex P, look at this. Cliff, let's go,
I love
everybody. Let's
it.
have
I
some fun.
love it.
Mateo Camisa in here. We've got a lot to discuss, and I mean, let's fire right into it with one of the main headlines, and that was Kenan Yildiz for, unfortunately, a knee issue, and we're hearing all sorts of different things about it. You're hearing that his agent and the entourage is all kind of like, and even Kenan Yildiz himself have been like, hey, we need to take it easy, want a little bit of rest, and Juventus asked Tudor for the rest. Then you're hearing other comments like he's had a knee problem dating back to late last season, and this isn't nothing new, and it's never stopped him from playing. Look, only those involved will know the actual truth, but the fact remains he's been playing a lot, and you have to take care of these guys. I was always calling this and saying, if you got yourself into a situation where your setup didn't leave you confident enough that you could give certain guys a rest, because we did go through a tough schedule. I'll give Tudor that. There was a lot of tough games and consecutively, and points are critical. Points are critical today against Lazio, given the table. But you got to work it out either in training or how you give these guys minutes. And like I said, practice isn't going to make or break Kenan Yildiz or any of the guys if you have to use them for that matter. So I don't think it's necessarily like the worst thing ever to try and figure something out with the rest of these guys in there. We'd obviously love to have them in the lineup, but it does kind of go to show we haven't really sorted out enough as a group. And Tudor, I think this shines a light on a bit of a shortcoming there of what he's doing with the group. If you feel a certain way when one name is taken away, even if it is Kenan Yildiz. What do you think to that whole?
Yeah, so that's a great point. And also shout out to the chat. Thanks guys for the shouts. I love it. Happy to be back. Um, in terms of this, I saw Alex make a comment in the chat that, it's clearly overload, which we have been saying all season, Yildiz has been one of the most used players this season, and rightfully so because of his talent. Um, I think honestly, I think it's just a lot of noise. I mean, you need to give the player rest. He's young. Um, you can't overwork him at this age. We've seen players on other teams like Pedri at Barcelona, that one season where he just looked absolutely drained after playing like 80 something games in a season. We do not want this young player, Yildiz, to be in that same situation where he is being overworked, potentially getting injured, in a team that, let's be honest, like we can afford to give him a rest. I know we're fighting for top four. We're obviously want to go for the Scudetto this season, but we can't afford to try to risk a young player's health. And also, we see Thuram's out of the lineup this match. Like we need to rest some of our key players. And it just seems tough because we don't really have that kind of depth where we can afford to sit these players. But at the same time, you need to give them the rest. So I think this whole thing with knee injury, oh he's had this issue, oh should he be rested. I think at the end of the day, you need to rest him. And I think that's just what it comes down to. Like, you can't just force this kid to play in every single match because then it's going to come to a point where he gets injured, and then those questions will be asked of Tudor, why did you overwork this kid?
Yeah, you absolutely have to give him rest. Not just him. I mean, you have to look at the group overall. It's one of the big things I have around this back three right now. When you only
Hmm.
have so many center backs because you're waiting for Bremer to get back, you're waiting for Cabal to get back, and they just literally listed it yesterday, but Kalulu and Kelly have played every single minute this season. Every single minute this season, pretty much. And
Wow.
that's another thing too, is now you're in a setup where you're using these guys nonstop. So I'm thinking like, how's this gonna work? And when I heard it yesterday that there could be a reshuffling at the back line because these two have played every minute, and I'm like, well, reshuffle with who? Because you're so skinny there, right? But that's one of my big things with this back three. But hey, man, uh, Tudor gave us a 4-3-3 once and decided that's it. I just want to make you guys happy, but I want to go back and do my thing. So we'll talk about that as we get into it. But
Hmm.
rest, he's going to have to figure out a way, and what he gets out of the group and what he sets up, organizes, needs to start making sense for everybody and the guys in rotation. But he's kind of forgotten about Adzic as well, playing in the middle, and that might
Hmm.
be something we could talk about today's setup, because there is a little bit no, something interesting brewing for today's setup in the match against Lazio, which we will get to. We're not done with Kenan Yildiz, and that's because Italian legend there, Dino Zoff, had said that Juventus made a mistake. They made a mistake giving Kenan Yildiz the captain's armband. And I'll be quite honest, some fair arguments from both sides. And this has been going around for a while because a lot of fans have been like, man, why are we just giving everything to him so quickly? Can we hold up? Others believe it's a ploy to get this renewal the way they want it because right now they have not found an agreement, and we keep hearing about more meetings. Some believe the agreement is done, others don't. How do you feel about that? Did Juventus make a mistake by giving him the armband? And Gio, right off the bat, says, I agree with Zoff. Cliff, what are your thoughts?
I'm afraid because I don't know what you're gonna say about this, but I think, in my opinion, I actually agree. I think it was a really, really big match to make him the captain, and I disagree with the decision. Just because, he is so young. He's already like your star player. You're putting all these expectations on him. There is the contract that is still up in the air. And then on top of that, you're playing Real Madrid in the Champions League and you decide to captain him at a very tumultuous time of the season, even though it's very early on. I think it's putting way too much pressure on him. In my opinion, if you're going to captain him, I would say captain him in a much smaller match where it's not nearly as much gravitas and pressure as this match had to it. I would have even said this is a better match to captain him in as opposed to in Champions League because I also think it comes down to like when you captain a player, it it kind of galvanizes the team and it kind of did against Real Madrid. We did see that, but it's like where do you actually have a better chance of doing well in UCL or in Serie A? And I think in Serie A, that's where you really want to try to galvanize the troops, and you need these wins a lot more than you do in the UCL. So, in my opinion, I would have waited for a smaller match if you're going to captain him, but I still think it's way too early to be captaining him. I think Loca should be the captain as of right now. Um, I think it's just more and more, expectations being hurled Yildiz way, and it's really, I don't think you're setting the player up for success.
Yeah, it's interesting. If I look at this, I mean, right off the bat, if I hear did they made a mistake by doing that, I'd have to say no. And the reason is because I completely believe it's valid to have all the certain feelings about a captain kind of this is the real first year that he's going to be like a protagonist, an actual protagonist for Juve, right? I wouldn't even call last year as a real breakthrough, but it was like, okay, now we can get to what should be the true breakthrough this year for Kenan Yildiz. But I get that. You want time. You want a guy that's ready for responsibility, that kind of carries the load and everything. But then I also start to think about team dynamics. And if you look at this particular squad, I always feel like naturally your captains are selected for you. I don't feel like you need to go out and you need to hand this to somebody. Like, I always feel like it's pretty natural amongst a team. And it's always felt that way, even in the teams I've played in, growing up competitively and whatnot. It's like you just know. You have your guys that lead kind of on the pitch. You have your quiet leaders that are all action. Then you have your rah, rah, rah guys that, know what to say, when to say it. Everybody kind of has their place. If I look at this team right now and I ask you to give me, because it can't be one guy, and Tudor decided to bench Locatelli for that game to start that. That's a whole nother issue for me that we won't even get into. But who are the leaders on this team? Kenan Yildiz pops up for me as one of the leaders on this team.
Yeah, naturally, him being, I think, the best player on the team. Obviously, he's top of the list when you talk about, leading by example in terms of play. He's really passionate. He's obviously our best player. That makes sense. I think Loca's obviously up there. I saw Gio in the chat said Gatti. From a passion standpoint, like you said, the passion guy, Gatti's that passion guy. He is that grinta guy. He's the guy who's going to put in a really hard challenge and do that. But I don't really feel like Gatti is captain material just because he is, I don't think he has the IQ like a player like a Yildiz or Loca has, and I don't think he has the psychology to be like a captain-like player. And I think that's fine. You can have players who are passionate and have like that gritty attitude and still not be captains. But I think two players that come to mind, top of mind, are Loca and I guess Yildiz in terms of talent, because like you said, there's not like a plethora of options that we could go with a captain. Like there's not like 5 or 6 guys you could pick. It's really only a handful of guys. So I do get what you're saying in that respect.
You have a team with an average age of 24.8, 25 years old. It is going to be somebody young that's going to be the leaders. I mean, if you're looking at some of the older players, does it make sense to make Rugani one of the captains? I mean, probably not, given the circumstances and the fact that Tudor's hasn't been using them all the time. If you're talking about Gatti's been a strange one, because last year, some of these players, it got in a lot of the fans' minds that they're leaders because they got the captain's armband, because we passed it around like a freaking joint at a Snoop Dogg concert. I said that all last year. What are we passing this armband around for? So crazy, like all the time. But Cambiaso's not a leader for me. He doesn't have the consistency. Gatti needs to find the consistency too. But then you get to the same discussion and people will combat me saying, well, Yildiz doesn't have the consistency either. And now we get to the system, because is Yildiz all of a sudden fading out because of himself, or is it because of something more like the actual system itself? Because we've been saying a lot, and the last show I said, man, there's a blueprint for me, but I see Yildiz in that 10 spot, and I think he'll find rhythm again And I feel like we're leaving these guys out to dry on the sides,
Hmm.
easily getting double teamed and marked out of games. Like
Yeah.
he had nothing to do against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Like
Can I also say something really quick on in
fire
the
up.
comments?
Yeah.
D. Gregorio, I think he's one season away from being in consideration. Because I think people are not talking about how well he's done in some of these situations. Against Real Madrid, he was fantastic. And I do see him as a leader type. But I think he's one season removed from that. I don't think he's ready to take on that armband just yet.
Yeah. And to Gio's point, we're also talking about like a third captain behind Loca,
Yeah.
behind Bremer once he's in there and everything. And that's another reason why, for me, I don't think we made a mistake. I
Okay.
don't think we made a mistake. He's not the out and out captain, you know? So
Hmm.
for me,
That's fair.
it's all good. And yes, Yildiz does play wide left for Turkey. However, those goals he scored, find me that space in Serie A. And
Yeah.
find me that space in Serie A. And when you're against Real Madrid and it's a complete transitional game, changes everything too. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different. I think and again, when you have a team, this is another big part of it for me. A team that is
Hmm.
struggling heavily on flank play like we are
Yeah.
is not helping any of those attackers. And I
Question.
said this weeks ago. Juve is struggling at the flanks. Cambiaso has been non-existent for quite some time. I gave him a pass against Real Madrid because obviously the
Hmm.
way they were using Valverde pinned him back, right? But man, I can only watch Kalulu up and down that right side for so long before it's like, dude, it's dead
Hmm.
end. It's dead end.
Yeah.
Juve's got to figure out the flank play to help everybody in the attack as well.
Yeah, do you also think that would get the strikers going as well if Yildiz is playing in the middle? I think it would because I
Yeah.
love him on the wing because he beats guys like crazy and he's great on that wing. But I think in terms of facilitating the play, allowing the strikers more opportunities to finish, I do think it would be very beneficial to play him through the middle as a cam or as a center forward.
Well, let's get to this game today. Because honestly, that's really everything in the headlines. A lot of it is just around Yildiz and this ongoing contract extension, whatnot. I saw Skippy in the chat also add something. I guess we'll get your thoughts on this because he goes, why are contracts extended every year? In the past, a contract was a contract. I get it. It feels like it's all the time and steady right now. But like this, and the same token, the dude's on 1.7 million and
Yeah.
everybody's got eyes on him. It's like
Hmm.
this one is, it's got to happen. Something's got to
This is
happen.
an obvious one.
Yeah. Yeah, like you've got to make it right for him. I can't see him being happy to stick around at 1.7 million given the fact that he is one of your leaders. He
Hmm.
did get the armband. I mean, even if he didn't get the armband, I think he's worth more than 1.7 million. You can't have
Hmm.
Colt Miners running around making the money he has and have this guy just expect to be happy at 1.7.
Yeah.
It's just a natural thing that has come up. So for this one, but I do agree in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of extensions that happen that we could probably sit on and wait at least till like further on down the year. Rugani was one
Hmm.
that I think could easily have waited. Didn't need to
Yeah.
be like, oh, we got to do this like right this second. It's like, well, can we have some clear heads about this? Can we relax and just maybe talk about this later on in the year? If you're that
Hmm.
worried, that nervous, he signs with somebody in January to leave on a free when all this guy wants to do is stay at Juve. Eh,
Hmm.
I don't know. I'd probably wait it out. But nonetheless, there we are. We are going to get to Lazio here, okay? And, man, when you talk about Lazio, brutal start for them. I think in their opening 4 matches, 3 were losses. So they started off terrible. They do have ground that they need to make up in Serie A right now,
Hmm.
sitting below the halfway mark in the table. And yeah, they got some work to do, but they are starting to accumulate some points. When you look at them, it's 4-3-3, shifts into a 4-2-3-1 in possession. Classic Sarri. So no
Hmm.
surprises there with that mutt, by the way. But they want control through the midfield. Okay, they like to build from the back. What they want to do is they want you to just kind of chase them that extra bit and then break lines and go at you. That's the MO of Sarri. Always has been, always will be, you know? And when they attack, they don't necessarily commit numbers. They commit late runners. And it's very actually like strategic the way they do it, because that's how they kind of worry about their defense and how they actually, like, how and where and who is making those late runs. But for them, the most dangerous actions are when they break your press. Now, might not be a concern for us because we've talked about it a lot. Juve don't really press that aggressively or
Hmm.
much at all. We'll see what happens today. But they will punish teams when they chase, and that's what they're
Hmm.
looking to do. They'll build up from the back. They want you to chase. In terms of defensively, Lazio's also not very aggressive. It's not
Hmm.
really a high press. It's more of like a containment on the flanks. And this is one of the things that'll probably be prominent when you look at Juve's setup today. And it could be one of the keys to this game. So they'll try to stall you there. They'll try to get you in the middle. In the middle of the park is where they want to win the ball back. And from there, that's where they want to regain possession. They'll either choose to break, fast break, or recycle, and then same thing. Try to
Hmm.
stretch out that midfield. They'll try to thin you out at the midfield. So three midfielders makes a hell of a lot of sense in this game, okay? And we will look at the projected lineups. And talking about form, well, we talked about the losses to start the season, but 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. Lazio there. Juve, 2 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss. Their last 6. So here we are. And going into this, here's a look at the lineups. So they are without some decent names. No Castellanos, no Nuno Tavares, okay, no Rovella, and they're also going to be without Gigo Bashiru and Pellegrini. So this is what you're going to see. 4-3-3. Hisaj still rocking, eh? Holy smokes, man. Jesus. Gila, Romagnoli, Marusic, Guendouzi, that mutt, Cataldi, Vasic, Isaacson, Dia, and Zaccagni. Still actually a front three that could do some damage.
Hmm.
Still a front three that could do some damage. In the middle of the park, we got to win that battle if you're talking about these guys. And we'll get to what Juve's expected to do right here, okay? So this is what Tudor's expected to go with. So Perrin's going to get the call. Perrin's going to start in goal. And remember, everybody, we do have a midweek game this week against Udinese. So that one's going to be on Wednesday. So short turnaround. Perrin, Kalulu, Gatti, and Kelly, your back three. Conceição at the right wingback position. Cambiasso left wingback. 3 midfielders. Cope Miners, Locatelli, McKennie. Vlahovic and David up top. Cliff, knowing what we know about Lazio, looking at this setup, how do you feel about it? What do you think of this setup? And how do you feel
I
going into
don't
this
mind the
game?
setup. I don't honestly mind the setup. I think it's fine considering, who we have available and who we need to rest and just kind of like this is a rotation match. Clearly you could see how many players are being rotated in this game since we have a midweek matchup. Um, I mean, like, what else can I say? You can't play Bremer, obviously, for obvious reasons. He's injured. Cabal, you can't be playing. So I think that's really the only back three you can go with. Um, I was telling you earlier before the show, I think Conceição at right wing back is an interesting choice because it reminds me of what Ruben Amorim is doing at United, playing Amad Diallo as a right wing back. And he's actually flourished in that role and done really well because he tracks back really well. I think Chico has that work rate where he could actually do really well at that position, not from a defensive standpoint, but just from a work rate standpoint. And maybe on those counters, could find a lot of open space and can expose that space and make something happen. But the two strikers up top, I don't have a problem really with David and Vlahovic. I was telling you earlier, I would like to see Openda playing a two-man up front. I think he can be that kind of shifty attacker in the final third and can help open space for a Vlahovic or a David, whoever would be in that other role, to find some space and get some shots off. Midfield, everybody knows I hate Coop. Well, I guess nobody's talked to me in a while, so nobody knows how much I hate Coop. He really bothers me. I think McKennie can be a real pest to Lazio in the midfield, and I think he'll do a job. And I think Loca will be our anchor in the back. And then on the wing, I think Cambiaso will do well in a more advanced role.
Yeah, if I'm looking at this setup immediately, my thing is I'm worried about the link up to from the mid to the attack.
Hmm.
I feel like we're gonna be predominantly playing on the outside, and again, that's their MO, to shut you down there, force you back into the middle. These guys in the middle are gonna have nowhere to hide. So I'm still wondering, like, and this is the thing. If I look at this setup, to me, it tells me Tudor has finally realized one of the things that we have said for some time. He needs three midfielders on the pitch. So it looks like he's finally realized that. It just looks like he's unwilling to sacrifice that back three. Okay, that's fine. But there are going to have to be some tweaks there made, because it's still a little bit a hybrid from the sense that who's going to really do that? You're going to ask Cope Miners, who hasn't been able to do that for a whole season, and now going into this one, to what? To link up? And are they supposed to be box to box, both Cope Miners and McKennie on either side of Locatelli? That's one way to run a midfield three in a 3-5-2. However, are these guys going to be able to do it? You have a young guy that we have completely forgotten about, which is Adzic. We're still waiting for Moretti to get healthy, but a standard 3-5-2, when it is not run as a hybrid, predominantly has one of the central midfielders playing north-south in the middle. So if you wanted to choose one of Cope Miners, you want to choose one of McKennie, you play them next to Locatelli and you split them, and you have one central mid, north-south, and if you let it be Adzic, that could be that link up in the middle, because you cannot forget about the middle of the pitch. And we talked about Lazio and how they play as well, and it's going to be one of the keys. So for me, like, ball retention in there is going to be big as well. Cope Miners and Locatelli will be good for ball retention. McKennie can kind of fade in that aspect. McKennie will also probably give you way more energy than anybody, though, and he will be running around and creating some havoc. But are we going to lose that link up from there? I do like going with two strikers. I think it's time to try and get these guys going, and playing them solo up top, leaving them isolated, is a problem. So my thought process on that, I don't mind David and Vlahovic. I wouldn't mind mixing it up, but David makes a lot of sense in how this game's going to go, because he's going to drop the most and rotate out of there more than Vlahovic, more than Openda. So between Openda and Vlahovic, you kind of have two guys that both excel at running at defenses, and find that. So I'm fine with either one of those guys. But that's my biggest thing. Chico, I'm not worried about. Like, I'm only worried about the system because I feel like he's going to get stuck. I feel
Hmm.
like he's not going to be in the more advanced position to be able to run at them. And now he's going to be utilized more in trying to get the ball up there. And that's where the other pieces are going to come in key. We'll see how it plays out, but I don't actually have a fear about him doing defensive work or that grunt work. He's always done that. So
Hmm.
my biggest thing is that link up centrally. That's the only thing I have with this system today, how we're lining up, that I second guess it. My other thing would be rest Kalulu. Kalulu and Kelly have played every minute available. One of those guys you would have to give a rest to. And Rugani hasn't played a ton. And
Hmm.
Gatti at the heart of a back three terrifies the hell out of me. I'll be quite honest. But other than those, I'm good with it, Cliff. But what do you think to my concern about the link up through the middle there?
I think it's a super valid concern. I always, when I see Coop in that lineup, it makes me really nervous because it's like, what is his role? What is he really going to be doing? I think Loca with this setup is going to push back and kind of be almost like that fourth center back and sit in and be more of that creator out of the back. Um, and then you could let the wing backs really do more damage going forward. And then, like you said, McKennie's going to cause havoc. But then it's that third midfield position where I'm just like, what's Coop going to do? If you have a Miretti or an Adzic in there, I think it's more clear that that player is going to be the one who kind of advances more and goes into the final third and tries to create more. And I think if Miretti is fit, I think this would be a match he would slot right into. I've always said back in the day when they had Fagioli, Rovella, and him, I didn't think he was the best of the three, but he's what you have now, so you're stuck with him. So I think for what you have, I like the shout for Odzic. I would have liked to see him in this match. I want to see more of him. He's taken some really high quality shots. Like he's not afraid. He shows a lot of confidence in the midfield. I'd like to see him getting more starts than Coop, but I think it's something that's playing in the back of Juve's mind is we spent all this money on this guy. We're paying him so much. They feel like they need to validate their decision and play him, which I think is really unfortunate because you're putting your team in a bad situation. You're also putting the player in a bad situation as much as we don't like him because you're really heaping these huge expectations on him, which are valid considering his price tag. But
Yeah.
I think that's kind of I think that it's going to be who is going to be that guy who goes forward and tries to create. I told you earlier, I think McKennie is probably going to end up being that guy who's going to get more into the advanced positions. He's not going to be creating per se, but he'll be getting forward and filling in more space and trying to find the strikers.
Yeah. I gotta say this, like, you start to wonder as well, and you're looking at this setup and stuff, and it's like, again, Tudor is hell bent on obviously 3-man back. And I've heard fans go back and forth on this, and we've done it on the show multiple times, but many just feel like the back three is the best for the guys we have. And we don't have the personnel to play a back four. I personally don't agree with that. But what are your thoughts? Like, do we have to go with this back three?
I vehemently disagree with you on this. I think right now I feel like we have to go with a back three because just from a health standpoint and personnel, we don't have the players to play true outside fullbacks. Like I don't think Cambiaso is sound enough defensively to be an out and out fullback. I don't think Kalulu, he's proven he can't really play an outside fullback role. I think he's best as a center back. And then obviously with Cabal being out, he can't be playing, but I think he's probably your best left back, I guess, in the current setup. And then João Mario has not been playing that much. So I think he's probably your quote unquote best right back. But I don't think we have the personnel at the current moment where I can confidently say I can play a back four and feel like, oh, I feel really confident with this back four setup. I think we have just a bit more that we could play with a three back, and tactically, I feel like we can do more with it. But I see where your frustrations are.
So we have the exact same fullbacks that we went conceding one goal in like the opening 8 games last season, Kalulu and Cambiaso. And they continued after Bremer was there, and never for a streak did we see like however many goals we conceded in 5 matchups at one point this season. Some stupid like 11 goals in 5 matches we conceded. Never happened. You also are skinny at center back until those other guys get back. It makes no sense to play almost all of them every single time. Like it's just it's crazy. This fear of going back four is wild to me. Right now, you're not even getting strong flank play at the wingback position anyways. So
Hmm.
what is the concern? Kalulu is an absolute animal. He's a workhorse from an energy standpoint. So
Hmm.
him shutting one down and then getting one of your fullbacks to be a bomber is a pretty standard setup in a back four. You're not going to have a perfect back four where both fullbacks are monsters defensively and monsters in the attack. That's just not realistic for where we are right now. But if you're telling me we can't clamp down on one side and offer a little bit more support to the attackers on the other, I would challenge that 1000%. Because I've even said I'm willing to use McKennie as a fullback to be one of those guys, just like he shut down Dumfries, who was red hot going into that game against Inter. He was a non-factor. And then utilize somebody that's maybe a little more offensive. But you have to do something. You can't just leave everything as is and finally just be like, oh, no, this is the best we have. Even Tudor in his presser said, I'm going to have to sacrifice defensive solidity. We've allowed how many fucking attempts so far this season? It's astronomical. It's insane. A back four last season with 3 of those guys being Gatti, Cambiasso, and Kalulu barely allowed 7 attempts a match last season. Until, of course, the big man Bremer got hurt, but the attempts ramped up to like double digits, like 10 or something. So it's like an additional 3. It's still far below the average that we're allowing this season. I just still think you're heavily relying on certain guys keeping with this back 3. And I still feel it puts us in a mental state of mind where it's more defensive than it is attacking. I can't help but feel that way, that there's not enough balance throughout this thing. I'd have no fear going to a back 4 personally. And that also opens the door to have 3 mids, have your 10, and have 2 strikers. What's bigger for the team? Because right now, I don't feel defensive solidity. So if we're hanging on to that, I don't know if I hang on to that in order to find something that's better for this group. Because one thing that comes to mind for me is, are we too dependent on Keenan? Can Juventus function without Keenan and be a threat, have a threat? We haven't really seen it this season because he's played almost every goddamn game. But it's a fear I have. Can we function without Keenan?
Yeah, you know what I'll say though, to your point, you said about McKennie. If he plays McKennie at right back, I could see it working. I just don't know how confident he is at playing McKennie like consistently at right back, because I think McKennie can do a job there. I've said all along he's probably one of the most versatile players on the team. And you need to use that to your advantage. Where like Real Madrid, they put Valverde at every single position they can with him. You can do that with McKennie. He'll play anywhere and he'll do a job. So like I could see it working. I just think we're so weak at outside back, even more than at center back, that we need to settle for the 3 back. But I see where you're coming from, and I think McKennie's a good shout at right back. But
Man,
to your
I'd
point
even
about
play him on the left because Cambiasso is just offering nothing.
yeah, I would even consider switching Cambiaso, seeing what he could do off the right.
What has João Mario done to, even in today's game, not get a look to the point where it's like, oh, I want to use Chico there? It's like, I get it. Keenan's not in there. Chico's got to find a way in this. And you do want to go 2 strikers. I get it. You want 3 midfielders. Seems Tudor realizes he needs 3 midfielders now. Took him a while, but he got there. Can Chico play as a 10 if you played a 4-3-1-2? Can you see him play in that role?
No, I don't think so. I think he's best off the wing. You see, like, and to your point about John Mario, I think what puts into Tudor's head, putting him at wing back, is the fact that he breaks on the counter so much quicker and has such higher IQ on the counter and thinks a lot quicker than John Mario does. Because I've seen John Mario ruin a bunch of very high quality counters just because he doesn't have the IQ yet. He's still very young and developing. I think Chico has that. So I think that's why he's playing at right wing back today. But to answer your question, I don't think he would play well through the middle. I don't think he has the spatial awareness from a central position like a Yildiz would, or another player like, say even a Nico Paz playing through the middle. Like a player of that quality to play through the middle, he needs to have that space that he can see and run into.
João Mario is older than Chico, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's like 25
Well, he
years
just doesn't
old.
have as high of an IQ then.
He's
Doesn't have the
25
IQ.
years old. He's actually been one of our best in transition, creating things. Things have fallen apart, but I don't know if I put it all on him. And I don't understand where all this stuff fear of the defense from João Mario comes from when you've barely seen a guy play. I
Yeah, that I
mean,
would agree with.
I've seen just as much ugly shit from every other guy that continues to start and play for this
Hmm.
team.
Yeah.
So
Also, you got rid of Alberto Costa for him,
I
so
I
like you need to see this guy.
I don't really understand it, to be quite honest. But Chico at a 10, a lot of people don't feel he's got what it takes because he's a head down player.
Hmm.
But in a 4-3-1-2, he doesn't have to disappear either. Because I'll tell you right now, if you're looking at playing a striker, playing a top two, it kind of goes into a more fluid situation. We saw David Chico Yildiz play at the start of the season, and I liked it. And I said, I'd give these guys time. We went away from it. And I actually critiqued Tudor for it because I'm like, you're breaking it up now. And you started going on this wild goose hunt for like your striker and who you wanted ripping from the start. And all you did was take away a little bit of chemistry that looked like it was starting to build. But I don't know. I'm into trying things like that more than anything
Hmm.
because Chico, to say that he can't do it, I don't think is fair. And the reason is Tudor's played what almost all of this season? A 3-4-2-1.
Hmm.
Yildiz and Chico have been central for the most part in that setup. More so than they have been stuck out on flanks. They have been quite a bit central. And if you go back to the beginning of the season, when it was David up top and Yildiz, those three were moving around so much that
Hmm.
Chico was actually operating on the left. He was operating centrally. He was everywhere. But Chico in the middle has so much pace to break. If we can break the lines and find him, gone. And if you have two strikers up there with him, spreading out a D, I think it actually it'd be something I'd at least take a look at. Just take a look at it.
Hmm.
And of course, this is not ahead of Yildiz. No, 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 no. This is as an alternative to get him in if you're trying to do what you're doing now. Because let's say he gets stuck out here at the wing back and he doesn't advance anything, we just end up stuck and he's not a threat. That's a waste. So you have to find an alternative if you want to keep going with this 3-5-2. Because I'm
So
not
would you
willing to
put?
sacrifice a midfielder for it.
Yeah.
And I think I'd rather play Chico a little bit further back than sticking him up as one of the two at the top. I don't think
Hmm.
I'd play him there.
Yeah. Would you put Chico as a free roamer then if you put him at that cam position? Would you just let him free roam across the final third?
I would.
Okay. I
I
think
would.
in that sense it could work, but if you say like, oh, you need to be playing a cam and you need to stay centrally and you need to be that creator out of the middle, then it doesn't work. But the way you're saying it, I could also that could make sense. And this is the season of trying things, clearly. And
I
also,
just
yeah, hit those likes.
I I hate pigeonholing and just being
Yeah.
like, no, this is it. He can only play here. He can. I mean, let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Hmm.
But today, I don't think it's all bad by any means. I mean, I would have chosen one of Kalulu or Kelly to rest today because they
Hmm.
played every single minute. Um, I would have probably went Rugani in the heart, Gatti on the right, Kelly on the left, and then everything else I'm actually fine with. My concern though is that middle of the park. I would have probably chosen one of Cope Miners or McKenny to let Adzic play, but I would have let him play straight north south. That's the only tweak I would have personally done to that lineup. Is it going to be make or break? I don't think so. And now we have to put our money where our mouth is for the prediction. But first, we got to take a look at, speaking of mutts, we got to take a look at who's going to be the official.
Oh,
In Italy, they're all mutts, right? So what difference does it make? But no, let's get into it. Let's get into it here. Juve Lazio. We have Andrea Colombo. 50 appearances in Serie A, 50 matches officiated, 5.1 yellows per game, 10 red cards. So he's got a red card every 5 matches and 8 PKs. All right. So,
okay.
my goodness. My goodness, hey?
So he's
Andrea
not going to let us
Colombo.
play.
What's that?
He's not going to let us play. He's not going to let the play go on.
Man, I tell you. I'm trying to see if I can pull up the last time he's actually officiated Juve. He was the official for the Inter match, the
Oh,
4-3-1. So
really?
that was Andrea Colombo. So I
Honestly, it
was
wasn't
like,
a
I
terrible
know he did
match.
one just recently for us because I was like, oh man, I remember talking about this guy, and you'll know him to see him. But yeah, obviously he was the official for the wild
Yeah.
4-3 Inter match. So he's
To be
back at it for
fair, to
Lazio.
be fair, he didn't do bad in that match. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean he let it go. He let it go. So
Yeah.
Bonnie is still down in Turin. He actually still hasn't gotten up from that incident. So we're going to have to scrape him off at our next home game. That rat bastard. Now, that is it. I want you to just give me, real quick before we get into predictions,
Okay.
your keys. Give me just a couple keys to victory that you think Juve has to hit on, and give me your players to watch, okay?
So I think the keys are break fast on the counterattack, get the ball to your strikers. I need to see shots. I need to see these guys not being afraid to pull the trigger. I think we're just too hesitant taking that extra touch, taking that extra look. Just take the ball and rip it. Just have that striker's instinct, like we know these players have. Like they are goal scorers prolifically throughout their careers. Vlahovic back even in his Fiorentina days, and then David with Lille. Like these guys are natural scorers. Take the ball, shoot the ball. That simple. Um, I think McKennie's going to be a key factor for me in this match. I think he's going to be everywhere. I think he's going to be pestering that Lazio midfield. Um, and then I really think I saw somebody say this earlier. I do think I could see Cambiaso doing a job, but not defensively. I see him getting forward and I see him providing good service into the box. That's what I see out of this match. And I think Petty will do well in goal.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. For me, the very number one thing that we said coming out of the Real Madrid game, treat this game the exact same. You're away, you're at the Bernabeu, like that energy, that intensity, that focus has to be there. Number one. Number two, don't bite. And what I mean by that is Juve's got to be patient. Don't get sucked in and don't get stretched, especially in the midfield. Don't open up lanes to give them what they want. Be patient. Win that ball back. Be strategic in the press. This is another thing with this 3-5-2 versus like a 4-3-1-2. Way more natural and way easier to press in a 4-3-1-2 as opposed to this 3-5-2 setup or a 3-5-2 setup in general. So be very careful there if you're Juventus. Don't open up lanes for them to give them what they want. The other thing is, we just to your point too in shots, we got to get the strikers service and we have to get these guys attempts. You have to find it, but you've got to swarm. We need to win the ball. We need to win the battles, especially in the middle of the pitch. We need to keep pressure on them. Lazio crumbles and hates to be pinned back, and they struggle when they can't get out of their area. They can't freaking transition you. So swarm them, pin them, push them back, and you will get opportunities. Now, when we get to players to watch, for me, well, I mean, I've been saying for a while, I like what he's doing, and I think he's been fantastic under Tudor. Chico Conceição, now in a new role, is he still going to be the player to watch in this game? He'll be one for sure, but I think it's got to come down to the midfielders. Like, we really got to win that battle. So, McKennie or Cope Miners, man, the microscope's going to be on today, boys, because we're going to need you guys to really bring it out of the middle of the pitch, especially with no influence from Kenan Yildiz and Chico out there on the flank. We can't be one-dimensional. You can't be one-dimensional and succeed in this game. If it's flank, they'll shut it down, force you in, and then win it. So the midfielders are going to be big. I'm looking out for both those guys. For Lazio, all I'm going to say is this, okay? Preliminary day is going to go to Guendouzi. Day. Okay? Go through this guy first chance you get. Can't stand him. Okay? Can't stand him. But Predictions. Cliff, final score, one tiebreaker, and maybe give me a bold call. Let's go.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Juve. What's the tiebreaker again?
Tiebreaker is whatever you choose. It could be a
Oh,
goal scorer, who scores the goals,
oh,
whatever,
oh, okay.
and
I'm
then
gonna
like a
go goal
bold call.
scorer. I'm gonna go goal scorer McKennie. I'm gonna go 2-1 Juve. And bold prediction. Let's go McKennie brace.
Oh my goodness, that is bold. That is bold.
Yeah,
All right, all right. I'm gonna take one more peek here. One more peek here. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna say, am I confident in going clean sheet for Juve? I have not been confident in a clean sheet. Lazio. Ah man. I feel like we still concede. I feel like we still concede. But I feel like we win this game. So I'm gonna go 2-1 Juve. And I'm gonna say that we're going to get a goal off a set piece that will come from a midfielder. And it might be Mac. Okay? But I'm going to say maybe Coop cleans up some garbage today and gets a goal. And I'm going to say that Jonathan David scores today. So I'm going to say 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1. David and Coop. The two guys nobody's probably going to pick for goals. I'm going to take them today, damn it. All right? And let's get that victory. Let's look at some of the shouts in here. 2-0. David and Chico from Gio. Okay.
I see
We got a
it.
2-0. David and Cope. Hey, whoa. Alex, we're stealing my thunder here. Red card Lazio. My bold call. I still haven't made my bold call. Red card Lazio? Maybe.
It's a good
Maybe just a
shout.
set piece goal. Matteo, 2-1 Juve. David breaks his cold streak. It scores all three. Scores all three, even for
It's
Lazio. What do you
2-1.
mean? You called it 2-1, man. It's Matteo
He's gonna get an own goal. He's gonna get an own goal. That's what he's gonna.
scores all three, even the own goal. Yeah, 3-2. David brace from Michael Lloyd. Okay. Skippy 3-0 victory. Just David, straight up David.
Straight up
Love it,
David.
love it. 1-1. Hope we win. Oh yeah, he did call the own goal. Oh man. QB,
Amazing.
you're as cold as ice. Hopefully we get to sing that on the watch along, everybody. Okay, guys, get those likes up. Keep climbing. Climbing. We're at Storm the Barn. I love Storm the Barn. Cliff, did you miss Storm the Barn? Come on, be
Dude,
honest,
I've literally been lurking in the chat and I've been seeing the Storm of the Barns. I miss this shit so much.
dude. Storm the Barn's the best. The Army's the best. Let's go. Let's see what we
Yeah.
got today. I don't get what the beef Tudor has with Joao Mario. I don't care. I've seen much more in him in the few times he's played than Cambiaso. Play 4 back, McKennie left, Mario right, humble Cambiaso. You know what? Man, we've been asking for a while now. It's just like, what the hell is wrong with Cambiaso? You know? But this is a good point too. It's just like, I don't understand what it possibly, like, I get the concerns around Joao Mario, but I don't feel he's like, we can't play this guy. I'm
hmm
like, man, it's not at that level for me. And meanwhile, Cambiaso putting up stinkers is like, you have to put him in check too. Especially when his fucking agent wants to make claims like he's the second coming of Maldini. Like, what? Jesus Christ, man. You
Bad.
gotta humble him. I actually agree with this from Sikoku. You've gotta humble Cambiaso, like, buddy. And I even went as far to say if I was in management at Juve, I would have personally picked up the phone and be like, you need to shut the fuck up to his agent. Like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? Are you watching these games? He's lucky he's getting starting time right now. But how do you
hmm
feel about that whole situation? Like, does Cambiaso need to be humble? Like, what the hell is going on there?
Well, I think to the John Mario point first, like we haven't seen enough of him yet to really make a judgment. Like I criticized him earlier about not having the IQ on those counters to make the right final pass, but he still like breaks really quickly and like makes good runs like off the attack. Yo, what's up, Colo? Thanks, man, for the shout. Um, but yeah, so I still think he makes good runs going forward, and he's not like the best defensively. But like you said, we haven't seen enough of him yet. You bought this or you transferred this guy in. Let's at least see him. We haven't seen enough of a sample size to really criticize him yet. To the Cambiaso thing, I think it's time to give him a seat, humble him
Yeah.
a little bit. Because the thing is, obviously the player's not saying it, but the agent's speaking for him. If not him, you have to humble the agent at least and get him to shut up. Because that's not helping Cambiaso at all because he's not playing at this extremely high level that his agent is saying he is. Um, and I've defended Cambiaso. I think he's a good player. But I don't think I think he needs a seat. I think he needs to take that step back and really reevaluate and say, okay, what do I need to do to get better and really like ingratiate myself more with the fans?
My theory is this. I remember the agent's words when it didn't go through with City in January. And I feel like he got that taste of that big payday, and now he's like playing damage control and like just trying to like save face
Yeah,
and whatever to keep hopes that like he could still get that. Buddy, your player's value has sunk from like
yeah.
that January. That 55 or whatever million, he ain't even close to that now with the performance he's putting up. So hate to crush your spirits there to Cambiaso's agent, but yeah, he ain't there right now.
Yeah.
I gave him a pass against Real Madrid because of how they played, who they are, and what Valverde was doing. If he puts up a stinker today, he has to sit the next one against Udinese.
hmm
1,000%. And I stand firm on that. Like,
Did we make a mistake not selling him?
ooh, that's a juicy little storm in the barn. So, did we make a mistake?
Do I think so? At this current moment, yes. At this current moment, I'm gonna go really bold and say yes because that money you could have reinvested in the team and gotten quality players to fill out this roster, and you wouldn't be nearly as um just kind of thin at multiple positions. So maybe put that as a poll. Maybe put that on X.
Yeah, we're going to whip out Berto's poll. Pause.
Oh,
Hang on a
jeez.
second.
Oh, jeez. This is a kid show. Let's, this is a family show, as Skangle likes to say.
Hang on a sec. This isn't even here. Hold on a sec. Okay. Did we make a mistake not selling Cambiaso? Let's see what the army says here. We're
Love
polling
it.
it. We're polling it. Ayo!
Oh, it's time to go to
Okay,
bed. It's time to go to bed after that.
here's my thing. It's like hindsight's always 2020.
Yeah.
Always 2020. 50's a lot of money, but we would have been like the shopping at that time of year sucks. Who would we have
hmm
brought in that would have been available, ready to come in at that point? At the same time, it's like if you're battling, we were battling, we knew it was going to come down to like a top 4 battle. You can't afford to lose Champions League, and it's just like he was playing in the first half of that season up until that point good football. He was
hmm
fantastic at the
Yeah.
very start of the year last year. I go back to that point in time and I say it's not the time. It's not the time. So I'm still like I understand why we didn't. We would have been too
Yeah.
skinny. We would have been hurting. It's tough. So for me, I'm gonna say it hurts because of the value being
hmm
undershot. But Jesus, man, I would also have not have banked on him being how bad he's been since that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to say that they made a mistake not moving me at that time. I really can't. But I mean, now the way things have played out, yeah, I'd be like,
It
Jesus, we
hurts
should have
me.
taken that money. I would have taken a fucking
Yeah.
pylon at this
Yeah.
point. Like,
It hurts
it
me to say that
sucks.
too because I've defended him like time in and time out. Like I love Cambiaso as a player. It's just there's been such a drop off. Like he went from really being a top, like really being a top left wing back to just being like really incompetent at times.
He's been borderline a liability at times. like in
Hmm.
his play. I mean, and one of the things that has really hurt Juve, and I always say it, like the turnovers and the
Yeah.
amount that are at his feet for like a lazy pass to a guy 5 feet away, a brain dead turn into traffic,
Yeah.
rather than like the time to recycle, the time to press and attack. Like he looks broken out there. The
Hmm.
creativity, the fluidity, the free flowing, like the adventurous Cambiaso is like gone. You would never think, if you look back, especially at the start of last year, you would never even think it's the same guy. Like
Hmm.
the personality in his game is gone. Like there's nothing there. There is a bland, stale ass player there right now that I have no idea who it is, but 73%. Yes, we made a mistake. Yes, we made a
It's
mistake.
like I know ball or something. I don't know.
Well, or hindsight. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah,
And
correct.
everybody wants that money so that the team doesn't get tempted to sell Keenan Yildiz.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
hey, Cambiaso, get your shit together. If he puts up a
Yeah.
stinker today, you ain't playing. You ain't playing
Yeah.
on Wednesday. Okay? Flat out. As we so what is this? As we saw versus Madrid, the back three is here to stay. Didn't look that bad versus Real Madrid. With Bremer back and Cabal too, are you okay with this lineup? Cabal would be a third center back on the left. As an out
Hmm.
and out wing back, I mean, I don't see it. Here's the thing. If you go back to last year when Cabal was around, because at the beginning of the year when we barely were conceding attempts, him and Cambiaso split duty.
Yeah.
And Cabal was a part of some of those games. I liked Cabal, and Cabal had the courage getting forward out of that spot as well. I'm sorry if they're back. I'm still going back four, man. I don't know this back three. If we set it up properly with the midfielders, I'd be fine with it. But for me, the balance is all on the midfield. Like if you're as long as you're a 3-man mid, your back four will be protected better, and your back three is still going to be protected better as long as you have three midfielders. But Cabal and Bremer back makes me want to really go to a back four. I'll be quite honest.
Hmm.
I don't
So,
know.
I mean, it's really tough, but I think there's two caveats. If everybody is healthy, like Miretti is back and stuff, plus you have all those guys healthy, and you play a mid three, a three midfield, I'd be fine with a four back with the all with everybody being healthy, because then you have the rotation of Miretti back in that midfield as well, and then with that back four, you have some interchangeability with Cabal, Cambiaso, John Mario, McKennie on the right, Kalulu doing a job at times there. Like you do have more options, so I do agree with that.
Yeah. And to be honest, you can't be a one-trick pony anyways. So we can't just give up on the
Yeah,
back four just because of the one
yeah,
match against Como as well, which had I don't even want to get into the actual issues beyond the
yeah,
back four. And this is what makes me nervous about Tudor. Is he actually pinning what went down against Como on the back four, like the four
yeah.
three three setup? Because he
That's really
shouldn't,
hard.
because his players went out there looking like a Sunday league team when it came down to effort.
Hmm.
Looked like they had been partying all night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not ready to give up on it, and we should have alternatives. Would you be satisfied if we would
No,
replace Keenan Yildiz with Nico Paz? So, okay,
no.
ever since that Como game, a lot of fans have said, you know what? If Real Madrid want him, make Nico Paz part of the deal. Would you sign that deal,
Nope.
Cliff?
Absolutely. TF not. I absolutely would not do that. Just because very different players. Nico Potts is obviously like showing himself to be a true up and coming world class prodigy. Um, Obviously he would fit well into the system that you said with a Cam. But I think his price tag at the current moment is actually exceeding Yilditz's, at least from what I'm seeing in the transfer market. And I think you have better value because you know what you have in Yildiz in your system. You know what he provides. You don't know. how Nico Paz is gonna, come into this team under Tudor. Tudor could ruin him. I'm not saying Tudor will, but I'm saying like you don't know what could happen if he makes the switch. So I think I would not make that switch right now. Definitely not. As good as Nico Paz is, as great as he is, I want Yildiz. Yildiz is my boy. He is verbally said he wants to stay at Juve, and I also think you can't put a price on a player who is verbalizing how much they want to stay at a club. So I would stick with my boy Yildiz.
I gotta put it out on the poll again. Got to put it out on the poll, see what the chat says. There's a lot of chatter in here. There's a lot of yes, no's, going back and forth. Look.
I also don't think Potts would look very good in the Juve kit, let's be honest.
Nico Paz I think is awesome player.
He's a star. He's a star.
I like Keenan Yildiz a lot. I think there is so much there, man. So much there. And I think we've like scratched the surface of it. And I honestly, he's gotten cold. He's not on the hot streak he was. Yeah. And not a lot, there's a good, healthy amount of the fan base that are saying he's not the player you can rely on. He's not the player that you can bank on. I'm of the belief that what we're doing systematically and as a team, as a squad, isn't supporting him in the best manner. And I think it's got a little bit more has got to come from the coach, has to come from the other players. I'm not ready to say goodbye to Yildiz. If it's a matter of saying goodbye to Yildiz to bring in Paz, find me a way, and this is what's driving me mental, find me a way to bring me both. Find me a way to land both. Okay?
You're asking a lot there. Jeez.
I know.
Also, look at Colo's comment. He says the management replaced Yildiz with Berardi.
You know what? Sad but true. Jesus.
It is really sad.
I like Nico Paz a lot, but I'm a big fan of Keenan Yildiz. Mm-hmm. And I'd want to continue that route with Yildiz. Yeah. 79% agree. It's a no to say goodbye to Yildiz for Nico Paz. 21% said yes.
You 21%, you need help.
Well, Nico Paz is fucking awesome, man.
He is really awesome. He's awesome.
If you're looking at Como
good team.
Too, like, Jesus, man, that guy is like, to do the shit he's doing with Como, like, no disrespect to them and whatnot. They play a brand. They know who they are. They do very well about that. But Nico Paz is pretty damn awesome, man. I gotta say.
There's also when you have
There's a reason Real Madrid literally called everything off and said, "Listen, Como, do not move this guy to anywhere else," because they'd have to match or whatever. They're like, "We're gonna make it worth your while." Like, there's a reason. There's a reason.
They have a setup, Como. They have a setup. They have a proper manager who knows how he wants to play, and the players have bought into it.
Yeah. Cliff Edition. By sitting Yildiz, do you think the other players get some pressure and will raise their levels? That's a good question, Alex.
They should. It should tell the players, okay, our best player's out. Like, he's a 20-year-old player. He's out. And he was just captained. Yeah, we have to step the heck up. And we have to get ourselves on a much higher level. You said it a couple episodes ago. You need to hold yourself to a standard. The players need to hold themselves to a certain standard. This is not just any club. This is Juventus. This is one of the top clubs in the world from a financial standpoint and from a branding standpoint. You need to show up. You need to put in effort. You don't have to play the best, but you need to play with effort and passion. And no matter what, that's what Yildiz always does when he puts himself out there. So my answer to that is they should. They should raise their level knowing that he's not there.
Yeah. Tuna, I got to do this first. Nico Paz better than Arda. Dude, so is Yildiz. Arda's behind both, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, should they raise their level? I mean, absolutely. This also goes, again, back to that whole captain's mistake and debate about Yildiz. Here's the reality. You're feeling a certain way with him out of the lineup. Tells you a lot. Speaks volumes. The other team, even Tudor brought it up in his presser saying, we need to develop more leaders. We need these guys to step up. I've said it in I don't know how many games watching where I'm like, who wants the damn ball? Who wants the damn ball on this team? Because there's way too many guys that get it and just dish it off. No, I don't want to deal with this responsibility. Who wants the responsibility? Because those are the guys that I look at as leaders of the team. The guys that do want to be in that position, that do want to try and make something happen, that are fearless. I would go as far to say that Adzic has shown more leadership than some of the guys on like 10 times the salary that he has. Just by having the balls to take some shots. Fire the fucking ball when you have a line of sight on goal. I can't tell you how much that just destroys me to see guys passing up shots. And it's the guys that are supposed to be bearing the most weight for this team. That doesn't cut it. So these guys, they all have to step their level up, whether he's in the lineup or not. Because that's part of the problem as to why he started to cool down. We called it. The surprise is gone with Yildiz. Everybody knows who he is. Teams are game planning against him. Everybody, even if he's in, has to raise their level. Period. Berto, time for your analysis on Conte's words after Inter Napoli on Marotta. On Marotta?
What did
he
say?
say on Marotta? I actually didn't hear that. I didn't hear
Probably
anything
nothing very nice.
What's that?
Probably nothing very nice.
You know what, man? Conte. How about De Bruyne pulling his hammy on the PK?
That's honestly, that sucks. To pull your hammy on a PK, that actually sucks.
Dude, pulling a hammy on a PK? Holy smokes. I thought he was about to do the twerk celly that all the chicks are doing after they score, like when he's fucking faking the hammy. And I was like, dude, what is he doing? But, man, I'm trying to find this Conte thing right now. The KDB thing really hit home, though, because as an older guy, you could see that happening. But Jesus, De Bruyne. I'll take a look at them after on... I'll tell you on the watch-along what I think about Conte's words. But I can't find them quickly anyways. But you know what? Screw all of them. Conte, ATL, Marotta. God. And this is the thing. We got to win this game today. 15 points. You know, you get 2 behind Milan, who, by the way, everybody that went mental praising Allegri and all this, he literally collects Coach of the Month and then draws Pisa, and lucky to draw Pisa. So I absolutely love it. I'm telling you guys, Serie A is not running away from Juve. Juve is tripping themselves up. We've got to sort our shit out. We have to find some momentum. Meanwhile, 7 games without a win? Dude, you got to win this game, Igor. You got to win this game. Absolutely.
Doesn't have to be pretty.
Now, what needs to happen for Tudor to be sacked after this game for you? But I saw a different question, and it was a little bit twisted, and it's to the same lines. If we draw or lose, is he gone?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean...
If we draw or lose this game, if it doesn't result in 3
No.
points, is he gone?
No, he has to lose 20-0 to lose his job after this match. He's still the manager of Juventus. They're not going to give up on him in October. You just can't do that. You can't just you need to have some consistency. If you look at the end of the season, you're not happy with what he put out. If say theoretically you don't make top 4, you don't get far in Coppa Italia, you don't do anything in UCL, then you reevaluate. But you need to give a manager time. You see with Manchester United, I'm sorry I keep bringing Man U up, but Amorim just got his 3rd win for Manchester United. Fans are really happy. They're top 8, I think, in the table, or no, they're top 6 in the table. Like you need to give a manager time to actually implement their plans. Like it doesn't just happen like that. Like it's not instant gratification. Everybody wants instant gratification nowadays. You need to see a manager actually try to fill out a proper project.
Oh man. Oh man.
I'm gonna
Oh
get yelled
man.
at.
Patience can only be rewarded through progress.
Hmm.
If there's no progress, you can't have the patience. What are we waiting for? What has Tudor shown in his career that we would be waiting for? It's not like you've got a Klopp that in 3 years and a shit ton of money
Yeah.
delivers, trophies and titles. Like, what does he have on his CV that you were waiting for, that you were willing to be that patient? You have to have progress. I said this even with Max Allegri. I said this with any of those other guys. If you don't have progress, you're not allowed that leash. You're not allowed that time because this is Juve. Juve isn't a science experiment,
Hmm.
and it should never be treated as such. If you go 8 games now without a win in this fucking league, what? You go 8 games without a win. Well, 8 games, all comps. But you go 8 games without a win, and you drop to Lazio, who, by the way, is at 12th right now, who's not doing anything good at all. If it's like 2-0, if it's 3-0, and you look like shit, man, I don't know. I'm not saying he goes immediately, but the alarm is off.
Oh yeah, if you lose this game significantly by like 3-0, the alarms will start going off. I don't think I'm just saying you don't see him get fired right after, but I do think this team starts saying, okay, maybe this isn't our guy. But my question to you is, who's out there that you pick up right now if you fire him in the next couple weeks? Like
Well,
who do you go for?
that's part of the issues. And for me, it's the same. You're in the same boat. You're in the same boat as you are with Tudor right now. Because Tudor hasn't gone on the side to make himself more than just an intern. Because he hasn't
Hmm.
shown anything more than just an intern, which is the rah, rah, rah shit. That's it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's one intern to the next. But you might have another intern that this interim coach comes in and actually has some better ideas for the
Yeah.
group that you have.
If
That
it's
might,
Zidane, if it's Zidane, you say Zidane is going to pick up the phone right now and take the job, I'm in. Former player,
I would go
legend.
as far to say that Terzic or Palladino would have more ideas with this group than Tudor does.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Palladino is a more progressive thinking manager.
And I'm not saying that I would lock into these guys for 4 years, but I would be very confident in saying, dude, this isn't working. Another intern for another intern. Like,
I think with Palladino, we'd score goals.
we'd score goals.
Yeah,
We'd score goals. He wasn't too bad defensively either for the teams that he had, but these are not long-term solutions. But that's my point, is like Tudor hasn't shown himself to be a long-term solution either.
hmm,
So you're in the same boat. What you're
yeah,
trying to do is figure out what's going to get you to. You can't go to the end of the year and then be like, or late in the season, and be like, oh shit, we're not going to hit top 4. Because
yeah,
guess what? That guy that you just went on a limb for to say all those things about, Kenan Yildiz will be gone if we're not in Champions League. 100%.
yeah, million
So,
percent. Yeah,
I get it. You can't keep a coaching carousel, but at the same time, holy shit, you got to have some standards.
yeah, yeah.
You
Like
know,
you need to be winning games. You can't draw every match.
you can't be drawing all the time. You can't if we don't qualify for top 4 in this Serie A,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It's
That's
crazy. We're
crazy.
playing like shit and drawing all these matches, and we're still like top 8, and we're still competitive. Like, if we get somebody who can actually implement an idea, whether that's Tudor figures it out or somebody else, like this team could be, on the Scudetto hunt. They really could
Yeah.
be. They have a good squad.
Guys, Trim saying, no kick giveaway, I guess. Get the likes. The likes, let's go.
Guys, Berto's gonna give me the kid if you don't get those
I
likes
guess
off.
nobody likes a new third kid. I don't know.
I'll take it. I'll take it. That's fine.
Jeez, man. Jeez. How did you get...
That's what everybody calls me. Juan Mata. Wait, can somebody clip this? Please, somebody.
Dude, that is amazing. Juan Mata, holy hell, that is gold.
Where's he playing now? In Sydney? I flew all the way from Sydney to come here.
Dude,
that's amazing.
You get that all the time? Cliff Mata.
I've had multiple people call me Juan Mata.
Dude, that is gold. Cliff Mata from Tuna.
Cliff Mata.
Holy smokes, that's gold.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Does David produce in a two-striker setup, linking with Vlahovic? I'm gonna... Okay. Depends on the rest, man. I still think that my fear is the midfield. You're still going to need that presence centrally. David's going to be dropping off and being in there, but man, I'm telling you. I'm worried about the midfield in that for him to produce. But two-striker setup, one-striker setup, it's been the same shortcoming for me, and it's out of the midfield. So I don't necessarily know, but I would continue with two strikers because you want to get these guys going. What we're doing isn't working. One guy, isolated, no service. That won't cut it, so go with two. That's all I got to say. Cliff?
As long as David doesn't slip over his own feet and miss shots, I'm okay with it. I think he can produce. Also, apparently now I'm being compared to John Mario and Cesc Fabregas.
People slip. Come on.
Yeah. Also, apparently I'm Cesc Fabregas and John Mario now.
Hey, what did he do for your boy there against Real Madrid? Set up Openda with a fucking platter, and what did he do?
That's valid. I'm going to take that on the chin.
Let's pump the brakes here. Put that thing on a platter for that guy, and he shit his pants. God damn it. All right. Does Tudor survive a draw or loss? There it is. There's the one from Michael Lloyd we brought up. That a draw, he'll survive. A loss, he'll survive. But I think it's alarm bells. Alarm bells.
Wait, can we pull something up real quick? Can we pull up one comment? I see Dorsium. He said Cliff has Juventus aura. If he would have been a player, he would be our left or right winger better than DeMarco or Dumfries.
What the heck? Jesus.
I appreciate the compliment. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Take it easy. Is that your burner? Are you texting on the side here? Are you in the chat on the side with your burner?
Absolutely not.
Will we make top 24 in the Champions League? Yes. I'm going to go yes. Yes.
I'm going to go yes. It's kind of bad that I had to think about it.
Yes. Absolutely. Fabregas for manager Juve 2026. Yes or no? Poll. Jesus. Cesc Fabregas. I'll poll it for you, though, if you want, just to see.
Considering somebody just said I look like Cesc Fabregas, I'm going to say yeah, just for the vibes.
Fabregas as Juve manager. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm going to go yeah. Just because I'm his lookalike, so.
Terzic or Palladino?
Palladino.
Why?
Because he's Italian.
I was going to say literally probably just because he's Italian.
That's literally it. It's like the tiebreaker. He's Italian. I'm just going to go for that.
Terzic. Man, I remember Terzic being interviewed by Del Piero and then after walking off camera, grabbing his phone to come back and take a selfie with Del Piero. That's like fucking
That's
awesome.
Cool.
I probably lean towards...
Come on, Al.
I don't know what.
Just say Palladino. You know what you want to say.
Juve's trying to be. I don't know who we're trying to be. What we're trying to do. What we're trying to chase. Like, because Terzic is like something that we almost wanted to try to be like after Allegri, and have failed over and over and over again. Whereas Palladino kind of does shit that like makes sense for who he has and has a decent pro. I'd probably lean towards Palladino, but to be honest, both are not long term for me, like for Juve whatsoever. Whoever, if we had to say goodbye to Tudor, give me whoever the hell is willing to accept the role on an interim basis. And then in the summer, actually go after your guy. And here's one thing that pisses me off. When we talked about João Mario, I wanted to bring it up, and I'm going to bring it up now because as we're talking about coaches. By the way, 62% said yes on Fabregas. Okay? So here's the thing that pisses me off. You got João Mario that came in. You said goodbye to Costa, and it was weird to me because I was like, you're still looking for a fullback, but you said goodbye to one just to bring in another one. It was like, what are we doing? But we need to stop the bullshit of not working with the guys that we actually have and bring in. Because Tudor, everybody knows he wasn't the first option. He wasn't the first choice. So to some degree, Juventus settled, right? But then how in the hell do you get yourself in a situation where season after season after season, your coach starts talking about not getting help in the window, not getting his picks, not getting his guys or whatever. Like that has to stop. It has to stop. And that's why the upper management is where I'm the most furious with. Because it's a shit show. Especially if you go 1 year back to Thiago Motta. Because we spent a bunch of money. And the guy is still shit talking about the window. What are you guys doing? Are you even including them? Are like the lack of cohesion is at a level well below Juve should ever be at. It's disgusting to hear time in like again and again. Oh, these guys start talking about the window. And guys they had, guys they didn't get, and whatever. It's like, are you fucking serious? What are we doing as an organization? So that's the one thing that really pisses me off. And I meant to bring it up with João Mario because it's like, here's a guy that's brought in, and Tudor doesn't seem to give two shits about playing him at all. So what was the point? What are we doing? It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. Sean Dyche to Juventus. Imagine. RB.
We're not that bad.
RB.
We're not that bad. Calm down.
RB. Bro. Go have a coffee, man.
Maybe have 5 coffees. Have 5 coffees.
You've had 5?
No. I said he should have 5. I've had only 2.
Pick it up. Pick it up. Lazio sucks. All right, Mitch. And the whole league does. True. With a win tonight, we're equal with Inter in the mix. Let's start to get positive. Imagine when we start playing well. Fuck, I don't want to imagine it. I want to see it.
I want to see it.
Yeah. I want to see it, and I want to see it consistently. God damn it. You know what? My banter videos have gone down because you can't even fucking banter when you're winless in 8 fucking matches. Let's get a win today. Is today going to be the day? Cliff says
sure hope so.
I say so. Let's go beat the shit out of these bastards, okay? The penile implants that are Lazio. The only way they hit the news is with a falconer getting a goddamn penis enlargement procedure and then posting it for all to see. So all the Laziali can wave their fucking flags that their falconer actually got a mediocre-sized unit now, okay? Let's beat the fuck out of these guys. We cannot draw or lose to the penile implants that are Lazio. Today, Juve has to take it to them, all right? Let's go. Cliff, that was a lot of fun, brother, and it's great to have you back.
It's great to be back. That was a fun time, man. That was a heck of a time. I cannot wait for the watch along. I will be watching along for that match, and hopefully you're not breaking your chair like last time.
Hey, man, those Ric Flair chops come in handy. Against Real Madrid, there was some sweet chin music as well. There was also a panettone tin that is taking a thrashing because every
Jeez.
time I watch Kalulu blaze up the flank, I end up smashing my head on that panettone tin 10 times just to get over it and recoup. Hopefully, there's none of that today because we got Chico on the flank. Hopefully, he delivers. You guys, we're going to have a lot of fun 20 minutes before kickoff. And the game start a little bit 1 hour later than usual because of the time change. So for me, 12:45, 3:45 Eastern time today. All right, but 20 minutes before kickoff. Hope to see you all back here, you guys. The likes, Madonna mia. Tomorrow we're giving away a kit to one of the legends in our memberships. Okay. And it's completely random. Everyone still has time to join. Thank you for all your support, no matter how you choose to support us. But the members, we love you. And tomorrow, let's get enough likes so we can give 2 kits away, all right, on the post-match pod. The 3rd kit and the one for the Legends memberships. But you guys, come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. That's 2 shows now. We just need the likes. Tomorrow, okay? But we'll see you on the watch along. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Let's go smash those punks, okay? Juve, buy stuff for Cliff for the background. Yeah, we got to get something up there, buddy. We got to get some up there.
I'll work on it.
We need a mural. Cliff Mata. Cliff Mata. We'll figure it out. Ciao tutti. We'll see you real soon.
See you
20
guys.
minutes before kickoff. Ciao, ciao.